When was the last time you did something romantic for your wife that wasn't tied to a birthday, anniversary, or holiday? Not something grand or expensive, just something intentional. A moment that made her look at you differently, or soft again, or reminded her that she is still deeply chosen by you. Most husbands don't realize this shift happens until it's already there. Somewhere along the way, romance turns into routine. Passion gives way to autopilot. You're still faithful, you're still there, you still love her, but the relationship has become more about running the household than building a bond. You probably remember a time when she looked at you with spark in her eyes, when she reached for you without hesitation, when she smiled just because you walked into the room. But over the years, the flirting stops, the fun slows down, and romance starts to feel like a luxury instead of a normal part of the marriage. Many husbands quietly miss that part of their connection. They don't say it out loud, but they feel it. Here's the thing. Most men were never taught. Romance is not the same as gifts, or dramatic gestures, or Hollywood-style performances. Real romance is how she feels with you. It's the energy between you. It's the subtle habits that tell her she still matters to you even after life gets busy. Habits that make her lean in instead of pull away. If you're new here, subscribe to Stronger Together, helping men build stronger marriages. Today we're going to talk about 5 romantic habits every great husband should practice if he wants to keep connection, intimacy, and closeness alive long term. The first romantic habit is showing small daily appreciation. Most women don't feel unloved because of a lack of big gestures, they feel unloved because of a lack of recognition. When the only time she hears praise is on her birthday or on Mother's Day, she starts to feel invisible. Imagine her carrying the mental load of the household all day, and the man beside her doesn't seem to notice. That slowly drains a woman's openness and desire. A simple example. She folds laundry, cooks dinner, or schedules the doctor's appointment for the kids, and it goes completely unmentioned. After a while, it stops feeling like partnership and starts feeling like obligation. Small appreciation is a romantic habit because it speaks to her heart before it ever touches her body. A practical tip is to make appreciation specific. Instead of "thanks for everything," say, "I really appreciate how you handled that." Or, "I see how hard you're working for our family." Another tip is to voice the appreciation in real time. Don't wait for a perfect moment. Romance starts in the details most husbands overlook. The second romantic habit is intentional touch outside the bedroom. Physical connection is one of the deepest ways women feel love, but not when it only shows up at night or only when it leads to intimacy. Many wives stop leaning in not because they don't want physical closeness, but because the only time it happens is when there's a targeted outcome. Touch without agenda tells her she is wanted, not just needed. Think about how often you used to touch her in small ways, hand on her back, interlocking fingers in public, your arm around her waist because you just enjoyed the closeness. Compare that to now. How often do these things happen without context? One easy habit is the 10-second hug. A slow embrace resets connection and calms the nervous system. Another is touch in passing, a brush of the hand, a kiss on the forehead, your palm on her lower back as you move past her. These little signals are romantic because they create warmth and they soften the space between you. Attraction does not start in the bedroom, it starts in these micro moments. The third romantic habit is pursuing her emotionally, not only physically. A lot of husbands miss this one. They pursue their wife intimately, but they don't pursue her emotionally anymore. When she feels disconnected emotionally, physical closeness becomes harder for her to access. Pursuing her emotionally means checking in with her inner world, not just her schedule. Asking what she's been carrying, noticing changes in her mood, and actually caring enough to ask why. When you were dating, you wanted to know her. You didn't just talk, you explored her thoughts, her feelings, her world. That emotional pursuit fades in a lot of marriages. And when it fades, romance does too. A practical tip is asking one question a day that isn't about responsibility or logistics. Ask things like, "What's been on your mind lately?" Or, "What's something you wish you had more support with?" Another tip is reflecting her emotions instead of arguing them. Just say, "I hear you. I get why you'd feel that way." Emotional pursuit builds emotional closeness, and emotional closeness unlocks romantic closeness. The fourth romantic habit is creating intentional moments instead of waiting for them. Most couples wait for romance to just happen by itself. But romance isn't spontaneous, it's intentional. Before life got busy, you probably planned things, initiated time together, came up with ideas that created memories. Over time, most husbands start reacting to life instead of creating experiences. The result is a marriage built on routine, not connection. And routine doesn't spark romance. Intentional moments don't need to be big. In fact, it's often the simple ones that matter. Taking her for a quiet walk after dinner, turning off devices and putting music on in the house while you slow dance for a minute in the kitchen, picking up her favorite dessert without telling her you would. These gestures say, "You still matter to me. I still choose you." One practical tip is to schedule one small moment per week. Not a big date, just a moment you intentionally create. Another is to change the environment. Romance feels different outside the house because there are no chores, no noise, no routine taking up space. The fifth romantic habit is expressing desire in a calm, confident way. Most men want their wife to feel desired, but they rarely say it out loud. Or they only say it when they're hoping for intimacy. Women need to know they are wanted. Not just sexually, but as a woman. As a feminine presence. As someone you're drawn to. When she feels admired, she automatically feels more connected. Desire is not just physical interest, it is emotional affirmation. When a wife goes days or weeks without hearing that she still affects her husband, she starts to wonder whether she still does. A practical technique is to verbalize the things you already feel. Tell her when she looks beautiful. Tell her when her smile pulls you in. Tell her when she enters the room and changes the energy in a good way. Tell her, "I still love your body," or "You still get to me." Desire works like a magnet. The more she feels it, the more she responds to it. Attraction is emotional first and physical second. Now, notice how these 5 habits complement each other. Appreciation softens the heart. Touch creates warmth. Emotional pursuit builds closeness. Intentional moments create memory. Vocalize, désir reignite attraction. When a man practices these consistently, romance doesn't disappear, it multiplies. Let's recap the key lessons before we close this out. Romance isn't about money or grand gestures, it's about daily signals of love and pursuit. The first habit is small appreciation, noticing her, thanking her, making her feel seen. The second habit is physical touch without expectation. The third habit is staying emotionally connected and curious about her inner world. The fourth habit is creating intentional moments instead of waiting for them. And the fifth habit is expressing desire clearly, confidently, and consistently so she feels chosen. All 5 of these are small, but powerful. They build momentum over time. And they tell your wife that she still matters, not just as a partner in life, but as a woman you actively choose. Before we wrap up, I want you to hear this clearly. Great husbands aren't romantic because they're naturally gifted at it. They're romantic because they stay intentional. They keep showing up with effort. They don't assume marriage maintains itself. They feed connection instead of waiting for connection to appear. You don't have to become someone else. You just have to remember the man you were when you first wanted to win her heart, and bring that man forward into who you are today. Romance lives where a man leads with love, presence, and intention. And when you show up like that, she cannot help but feel drawn back toward you. You don't have to chase big sparks, you just have to build small flames every day. Which of these 5 habits do you think you need to start practicing more consistently in your marriage? Like, comment, and subscribe to Stronger Together for more marriage and relationship advice for men. Keep leading with strength and heart. Keep showing up with intention. And never forget, your marriage can grow deeper, closer, and more passionate when you choose to invest in it daily. You have what it takes.